Well, guys, welcome back to Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. You got me, your host, Owen James. Channel brings you your team every single day. Keep you updated with all the latest goings on at Ibrox, even during the international break. Yes, that's right. There was obviously the news this morning regards the pitch about McCausland and about Diamande. If you haven't done that, go back and check that out. Well, let's talk a bit more. We're going to talk about Danilo. We're going to talk about Sam Lammers and his exit from Ibrox, which looks all but assured this summer. And we're also going to look a bit more on the Dundee pitch story with news this lunchtime as regarding possible reported SPFL sanctions for the club. Let's start off with news about Sam Lammers. Now, obviously, Sam came to the club and has been a little bit of a disaster, wasn't he? You never really ever, fulfilling any sort of potential that he had, and we never really saw, I think, why Michael Beale brought him to the club. I mean, to me, he did not seem like a footballer. He seemed like a competition winner who got a shirt and got out to go and play on the hallowed turf every other Saturday. Didn't seem to contribute an awful lot. Yes, he had that fantastic goal, funnily enough, at Dens Park in that 5-0 Rangers triumph. But other than that, he was fairly awful. However, Sam, since he has gone to FC Utrecht in Holland, has had kind of like a rebirth, a reawakening of his talent. He's played 10 games for them so far in the Eredivisie, and he has scored 3 goals and had 3 assists. That's 6 goal contributions in 10 games. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal. I mean, I think if you've done that in the first 10 games for Rangers, you'd be kind of saying, wow, what a player. What a player we've signed here in Sam Lammers. But certainly he is really kind of grown in Utrecht. Perhaps the Dutch football, the Dutch way of playing suits him. I mean, Transfer Market currently list his value as €3 million, which is around £2.5 million. So what has been reported? What's the story? What's the facts behind the story? Well, the reports are saying that Sam will be allowed to leave Ibrox in the summer. He will be allowed to go. So that's great. That's good news. I think, the fact that it hasn't worked out and it is working in the Eredivisie. So, for Sam, for the club, it's better that he's allowed to move on. Now, Sam Lammers, talking in an interview at the weekend, did express a desire to stay with FC Utrecht, which is great, fantastic if they can come up with the money. So it appears that Rangers are looking for somewhere between £2.5 and £3 million for Sam Lammers, which will be a fantastic deal if we can get somewhere close to the £3 million we paid for him back. But it does look a 99.9% guarantee now that he is going to be sold back to the Eredivisie, that he will not be at the club in the new season, and it will generate much needed income for Philippe Clement with his squad building for the summer. So, good news for Sam, good news for Rangers, positive news for squad building in the summer, and there will be a need to build that squad with Kemar Roof out of contract, Ryan Jack out of contract, McLaughlin out of contract, who else is out of contract this summer? John Lundstrom is out of contract, Borna Barisic out of contract. You're looking at least 5, possibly 4 or 5 exits there. I mean, John Lundstrom obviously is the strongest to stay, the strongest to be offered a new contract. I would urge the club to offer him a new deal, given the fact that he's been one of our best players this season, and is certainly, I think, along with Jack Butland, in running for Player of the Season award. He has been absolutely outstanding for Rangers this year. So, certainly that, and all the extra money we can generate, obviously, with the only money you're going to generate from those players like Kemar Roof, Ryan Jack, who I think, as much as I love Ryan, I think Ryan's fantastic. I absolutely adore Ryan, but, the fact that he's constantly injured, that he's constantly sitting there, getting a wage for nothing, it's time for him to go, unfortunately. So, that money obviously is freeing up from him, freeing up from Borna, freeing up from McLaughlin, freeing up from all those players. That is extra wages. Obviously, we can free up to put into the budget. And if we can sell a few more players on in the summer, which I think there is a need to do. Ben Davis, I think Cyril Dessers needs to be punted at the end of the season. If we can get somewhere in the region of 6-7 million for those guys, again, it's all extra income we can then put back into squad development. And certainly the reports appear to be suggesting that if Rangers win the league and qualify for the Champions League automatically, which they will do for the last time this season due to the coefficient points from Europe, because that has changed now. This is next year will be the last season that a Scottish team automatically qualifies for the Champions League group stage. As of the year after, they will have to qualify for that stage through games in the Champions League qualifiers because of the fact the Czechs have overtaken Scotland now in terms of European coefficient points. So, look, it's all extra money. It's all generating income. The more money we can generate, the stronger we can make the team, the stronger we can build the squad for next season, the better. I mean, Philippe Clement has worked wonders with what I would say is a very sort of above average squad. If he can bring in more of the types of players that he wants, more of the Diamandes, Silvers, and Cortez type players to the club, the better for Rangers and the more competitive we will be next season, both at home and in Europe. Well, we're going to get to Danilo shortly, so hang on for that. We're going to talk a little bit about Danilo and his possible return to the team that is upcoming, so please hang on for that. Now, reports appear to suggest this lunchtime that Dundee will be hammered by the SPFL over their postponement of the game against Rangers at the weekend. Now, I think the reason that it has been reported that there will be a sanction put in place, I'm hoping that it's a substantial fine and it really should be a points deduction as well, is because this is not the first time it's happened. As I said on the video this morning, it's the fourth time they failed to do it. Now, once, like I said, is forgivable. Twice, oh dear. 3, 4, I'm sorry, that is just simply not good enough. Now, the main reason behind this is because of this is the fourth time they have breached a SPFL rule. And this is a rule laid down in the SPFL guidebook, handbook, rule book, whatever you want to call it, for entry into the league and playing in the league. Now, this is the rule that they have broken. SPFL rules state that each club shall ensure the field of play at its registered ground, and that any other ground at which it is the home club for a league match or playoff match is smooth and in good condition and repair. Now, here's the key bit of the rule that Dundee will have breached: and equipped with an efficient and effective drainage system so that it cannot become unplayable due to flooding. So it is there in black and white that Dundee have breached SPFL rules. Now, a few seasons ago, Motherwell were fined £50,000 over the state of their pitch. It is obviously here laid down in black and white that Dundee have seriously breached this rule. They have not been able to play their game for the fourth time this season due to the fourth breach of that last sentence of the rule. Efficient and effective drainage system so that it cannot become unplayable due to flooding. Again, like I said, that has been breached by Dundee. And therefore, reports are saying this lunchtime that they will be hammered by the SPFL with some form of sanction. Like I said, I'm hoping that it's a big points deduction and also a fine. As Philippe Clement said, the clubs and the SPFL need to look at having playing pitches of sufficient standard to play in a top league. It is a joke that this is still allowed to happen in the 21st century, that teams like Dundee are allowed to have grounds and pitches that are more suitable for pub league football than actual professional football. Okay, so let's turn a little bit our attentions to our Brazilian striker, still absent through injury, Danilo. Now, Danilo's had a pretty bad year for injuries, hasn't he? He's been pretty much cursed through injuries. You know, he had some sort of muscle injury, then he had the fractured cheekbone, and then he's had this ankle injury or leg injury that's kept him out for a substantial amount of time. Now, all the reports that were indicating that Danilo will be back at some point in March. Now, it is to be hoped that over this 10 to 12 day international break that Danilo will be back on the grass, will be training, and will start to become available for games again. Now, if you look at Danilo, I know he's had some criticism from supporters this season, which, you know, I think is unfair. You know, he does miss chances. You know, he has missed chances this year, but certainly nowhere near as much and as bad a misses as a certain other Belgian Nigerian frontman that we have playing for the club. If you look at Danilo's stats from this season, from the Scottish League Cup, from the Europa League, and from the Champions League and the Scottish Premier Division. So this season, in total, Danilo has played 21 times for the club. 12 of those in the Premiership, 3 of those in the Europa League, 2 of those in the League Cup, and 4 of those in the Champions League. In total, he has scored 6 goals this season in those 21 games, and has got in total 4 assists. So 6 goals, 4 assists. That's 10 goal contributions in 21 games, which, considering the amount of time he's been out injured, the amount of time he's missed through injuries not of his own doing, let's just get that across. Virtually all his injuries have come as the way of impact from other players. I mean, the games that he's missed as a result of this recent injury is because of a bad tackle by a Hearts player. Previous to that, it was because the St Johnstone goalkeeper took him out. St Johnstone defender took him out. So, the injuries that he's sustaining do not certainly put him in that sick note category. These injuries are impact injuries as a result of bad play by the opposition. Now, 10 goal contributions in 21 games is a pretty decent return so far for a player who hasn't really had the opportunity to properly settle into the club. He averages a goal every, I think it's 1,000. I think his goals to games ratio is better than Cyril Dessa's. It's also better than Abdallah Seema's. He's actually got the best goals per minute ratio of any Rangers striker this season, despite the limited time that he's played. So, having him back will be a major boost for the club. Philippe Clement is seeking a reliable number 9 to put the ball on the back of the net on a regular basis. The transfer windows are all now closed. Silva's been employed on the wing and has been quite effective on the wing. Cyril Dessers continues to be played up front, and let's face it, Cyril Dessers is just playing shite. I mean, the guy couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo when it actually when it actually matters. So having Danilo back, I think, will be a big boost for the club. And like I said, we're hoping this is going to be towards the end of March so that he will be there for the run. If we can have him back on the bench, say for the Old Firm game, this would be fantastic news. But these are, this is the latest reports that we're hearing coming out of the club. That this is the hope that he will be back by the end of March. I really do hope he's back. I think it'd be great to have Danilo back for the end of the season. I think he really can contribute a lot and push this club onto the next level. I think, like I said, he is a better 9. He is a better player than Cyril Dessers. And I think, had he stayed fit all season, he would have been the number 1 striker. I don't think you would have seen a lot of Dessers. Well, guys, thank you for watching this news update this afternoon or this evening or whenever you pick the video up. Please obviously come and smash the sub and help the channel. And also if you can smash the like as well. That's one of the things I always ask you. The second one, well, you know the second one by now. Always remember, never forget, we are the people.